Man, oh man. So about a week ago, it was announced that Escape and SWV will be headlining a tour later this year, which came a week after the mid-season finale with Fatima, and her remark to Zach's optimism, like, look, Karen and I making up and being on good terms, that SWV and Escape will have to headline a tour together before that happens. And it's like, well, I guess in season 7B, we're going to see some reconciliation going on here. But in recent news, it seems like every time I log on to, just the internet in general, anytime I open up an app or go to a social media platform, there is more news and allegations and rumors and people coming forward about, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, Diddy, whatever. And I was thinking about the fact that, wow, when you kind of look at it, these writers were on that Boondocks or Simpsons energy where it's like they were predicting the future, because you may or may not know that season 7 itself was written and filmed back in like spring of 2023. So season 7 was in the books before the writers and actors strike and whatnot. So, with the recent news of like the co-headlining tour of, Escape and SWV, people were like, oh, well, they're in Atlanta filming. They probably got wind of the tour, so that's why they threw it in there. No. This stuff was written over a year in advance. So, no, they did not know about the tour stuff. So it was just like a snarky remark made by Fatima, and it just so happened to come true. Another example of like Tyler Perry, and remember, Tyler didn't write this season, but I want to give you an example of Tyler Perry's writing kind of predicting the future, or at the very least, a reference to it before things even happen. I want to try to remember his name. If Loving You Is Wrong, the character named Larry. This was towards the final episode. I think it was the series finale. It could have been the series finale. But when Eddie had, drove his truck. This was in a parking garage. He had Larry trapped between his truck and his car. And Eddie kept pushing the gas, and he wanted to know what happened to his daughter. And Larry wouldn't tell him anything. And he ended up, just hitting the gas. So Larry was being crushed between the two vehicles. And he said, I can't breathe. And it just so happened that this episode aired not long after the George Floyd, situation back in 2019, 2020. I forgot the exact year, but it's weird. It's 2024. So looking back all those years, is like, wow. So yeah, people were like, oh wow, the can't breathe thing. It's like that was the first thing that came to mind. George Floyd, when Larry was just screaming at the top of his lungs, blood coming out of his mouth, because he couldn't breathe. He was literally being crushed. So that's an example of like Tyler Perry writing something far in advance, and then who knew the phrase "I can't breathe" would be such a cultural phenomenon, right before that episode aired. So when I look at the Diddy situation, I'm just going to say Diddy, just because, well, why not? I wanted to compare him to Gary. Keep in mind, this is not me comparing Cheeto, the actor, the person, to Diddy and whatnot. I'm talking about the character of Gary Borders and Diddy. I mean, for example, you look at Gary's high school prom date, who went quote unquote missing, Kimberly Potter. And it just so happens that, Diddy's deceased ex-girlfriend was named Kim Porter. The main connection there is just the name. That's it. I just thought that was pretty strange. Then you have, what was it, last week when Homeland Security or like the feds raided Diddy's homes and whatnot. I think his mansion and somewhere else. So they basically raided a couple of his homes. And then at the beginning of season 7, you had the feds, at the law firm. They were over at Hayden's looking for Gary, and they were probably at Gary's house as well. So, the feds were looking for both of them. Then you have Gary using the facade as a legit businessman to run his illegal dealings. I was a former athlete turned hedge fund manager, but I'm using that as a front to do a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. Diddy, all sorts of business. And I'm going to say alleged because, to my knowledge, not much has been proven out, But then again, the whole Cassie settlement thing, people are like, but again, I'm only here to say allegedly because I don't know a damn thing. But yeah, so, Diddy was allegedly doing similar things to Gary. Gary has been shown on screen to murder people, and based on dialogue, he has orchestrated murders prior to Penelope, whether it be directly or indirectly. And again, rumors of Diddy doing the same. I mean, I can go on and on, things like how they treat women, and it's just interesting to me because Gary is the Sistas version of Diddy, and it's really strange when you look at it from that perspective, but it could make sense. I mean, but who is the Cassie in that situation? Would it be Jasmine or would it be Andy? I don't think it's Penelope, though. No, I don't think that's the case. But yeah, with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Am I reaching, or do you see the potential comparisons here between Diddy and Gary in the show? And I mean, it just makes me want season 7B a little bit sooner. I can't believe I'm saying it. It's like, okay, let me see what else these writers have predicted in their scripts for what's to come in real life. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.